Good Tuesday morning to you all out there. Welcome to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. Thanks for joining us at the
Fabulous Arizona Center.
Yes.
So we've got a great show for you today.
We sure do.
I mean, what a fun week we're having.
Yeah, Monday was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and you couldn't have a better Monday than what we had.
And we're going to have a kick-ass Tuesday.
We are going to have a kick-ass. Look at you. I think that's the first time you've cussed on this show since we've been in this new space.
Well, there you go.
I know. It's official. It's
official. I know. Where's that soap?
It's been christened.
I can wash my mouth out now with some soap.
I love that we accidentally coordinated.
I know. And again, it was completely unplanned. It's not like our style coordinator was like, here, we're going to have you two match.
Because we don't have a style coordinator. Do you want to be our style coordinator? We'd like one.
That's right. We're completely open. We have so much fun doing this show and really talking about so much local, how you can enjoy Arizona just a little bit more.
Yeah. And can you believe we're almost halfway through January?
Shocking.
I know. It goes by so quick. But we've been really learning about, I think, some amazing events and businesses and organizations, and it's just like, it just goes to show you how diverse and talented and amazing.
It's so funny because I literally just got the email today to sign up for the Melrose Street Fair March 1st.
March 1st, I know. March 1st is also the ArtLink Gala.
Okay.
Just to remind you.
Okay.
And kickoff of Art Detour. So
wow, it's gonna be a busy day.
Everything's coming. Everything's coming full speed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. Well, we do have a pretty impressive guest here that is waiting to meet all of you. So we're going to take...
all of you. I thought you were looking at me, all of you. I'm like, all of me.
All of me. I love how you interpreted that. That's very sweet. I'm sure he wants to meet all of you too.
Not yous. That's completely different.
That's the side of my family we don't talk about.
Exactly.
The Capones, we don't
the
say anything about.
Are you a Capone?
That was my grandmother's maiden name.
Oh, because my neighbors, it's like they spent Christmas with Tony Capone. Oh.
That's funny. Yeah.
You might be related to my neighbors.
Well, my grandmother would never talk about that side of the family, so I don't actually know that much about the Capones. Yeah. I know that my dad looks a whole lot like Al Capone. But yeah. Well, he used to back in the day when they were both young. So yeah. There's that. But no, yeah, so we've got a great guest to introduce you to. We have, as always, we have things to do, a little bit of history, a little bit of celebrity.
Well, I'm shocked, but some cool history. Some really wacky history.
I feel like all of your history is wacky.
Well, it's the fun stuff.
I know, it's the fun stuff. All right, we'll be right back after this break to introduce you to our guest, and keep it right here.
And happy January 14th. I'm Marshall Shore here on the morning show.
And I'm Melissa Farley. Thanks for joining us at the fabulous Arizona Center. I didn't do the
Arizona
arms.
Center,
he did
fabulous.
The arms. Yeah. Happy Tuesday. How are you doing? You gonna do some tacos later today?
It's been a great week so far. It's already Tuesday, so here you go.
It is.
More fun.
We've got someone here to my left that I think you've been chatting with. We probably should share all of this awesomeness with our audience now. We have author Sandor Lubisch here. Sandor, I see that we've got your book on the table here. Tell us a little bit about you and your work.
And a poster.
And the giant poster.
And my poster. The current book that I just released this past spring is called Yitzhak's Escape, The Jewish Flight to Uzbekistan. It is historical fiction, but it's based on the true story of my mother's family that remained in Eastern Europe.
Okay.
They lived in an area of Eastern Europe where the borders always changed. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, if she was still alive and you would meet my grandmother, she would proudly say, I could travel to Germany, Austria, Hungary, Poland, Russia, and Ukraine and never leave my kitchen. Because that's what that area
Yeah.
is like. And this is part of the reason what's going on right now in that area of Eastern Europe with Russia and Ukraine. This is all kind of related. I come from a Jewish family, and not once was it ever mentioned until many years later that I found out that Jews, particularly this family that remained in Eastern Poland, escaped the Nazis by going to, of all places, Uzbekistan. And for some odd reason, this aspect of the Holocaust you won't find mentioned in any history books in the United States, unless maybe you're taking a graduate course. It was never mentioned in the synagogues by the rabbis and all the classes that I had, and I didn't find out that we even had this family in Eastern Europe until I completed a genealogy search and learned that my mother's father had an older brother and family that remained in this little town called Bolchov, which is about 40 miles south of today's Lviv.
Okay.
Okay? So I know that Holocaust stories can be very gruesome to read because most people immediately think of gas chambers, ghettos, and concentration camps. But there was actually more that went on. And so this book does deal with a different aspect of the Holocaust. Okay? I went to Israel to meet the family in 2009. They were children at the time, but three of the adults, they were now seniors, I met them and their grown children. And I brought the subject up about going to Uzbekistan, what that was like. They refused to talk about it.
Oh.
They would just, it's just typical with a lot of survivors,
Right.
just too painful for them to remember the past. They want to enjoy the life today and the future, so they won't talk about it. Brings up too many bad memories. And they shared very little with their children. So my cousins, who are around our age, didn't really know too much. This story fascinated me, and I really wanted to, I enjoyed writing. I've been writing for most of my life. And I wanted to tell this story originally as a biography of my cousin's father, who was one of the children that fled. But there wasn't enough information to do it as a true biography. So one of my proofreaders was a retired middle school librarian. And she said, Sandor, since you want to begin the story with the rise of Hitler, and you're going to continue the story to the discrimination and the anti-Semitism that still existed and occurred after the war in Poland, this would be a perfect story for middle and high school students to read in addition to adults. But this is what you have to do. There's some conditions, some criteria you have to follow, particularly if you don't want the book to be banned.
Okay.
One is the central character needs to be from this age group. So this is why the story is told from by a fictional character named Yitzhak Barkan. Begins when he is 8 years old in 1933. It continues when he's a teenager when the family flees in 1941. And that's condition number one. You can have some romance, but no explicit sex scenes.
That makes sense.
No vulgarity. And you could still get the point across about the Nazi atrocities, but it has to be done in a non-graphic way. So let me give you a little bit of the backstory so you and your viewers will have an understanding what went on. We know from our history books, World War II started when Nazi Germany invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939. What we're not taught, at least here in the States, is there was a previous secret agreement between Hitler and Stalin. Hitler sent his representative called Ribbentrop. Stalin sent his representative Molotov, and they negotiated a pact that they would divide Poland in half. There's a river that goes right through the middle of Poland called the Bug River. Germany would take the western part. Stalin and Soviet Union would take the eastern part. So Germany invades Poland in 1931. On September 17th, the Soviet Union moves into eastern Poland. So now my family are no longer Polish citizens. They are under the authority of communist Soviet Union, where they come in, they kick out all the Polish officials, they nationalize everything, and so now they are part of the Soviet Union. This arrangement, this pact, only lasts 2 years. Because at the end of June 1941, Hitler kind of gives Stalin the royal finger and sends his troops into eastern Poland with the orders to get to Moscow as fast as possible. There's no time to build concentration camps. There's no time to build gas chambers. Round up all the Jews, take them out in the forest, and murder them. Those were their orders. So my family in Bologov lived very close to the border. How the father learned about escaping, we don't know. But Stalin also had another secret plan that isn't talked about, at least in this country. In 1937, he and his officials developed an evacuation plan just in case it was needed. And the evacuation plan was based on what the Tsar did when Napoleon invaded Russia in the 1800s, move everybody eastward, get them out of the way so the army would starve, the German army would starve during the Russian winter. Same kind of plan. And the plan was to move farmers, their ammunition factories, their military factories to Soviet-controlled Asia, particularly.
So how did you, I mean, kind of what you're talking about, especially if you're trying to gear this towards middle school students.
Yes.
Kind of, I mean, creating this fictional character, but also trying to talk about these atrocities, but not be so gruesome. What was that like?
Okay. In my creative writing classes, I developed my own unique writing style, where I would invent a character and I would bring that character to life by making the story read like their personal memoir. Okay? And as the two of you probably know from your theatrical background, a good story can be told mainly through dialogue. Okay? So most of the story is done with dialogue between the father, the mother, the two children, the officials. That was how I could do that, okay? So, as far as the atrocities and how anti-Semitism spread, just give you a quick example. At the beginning, in 1933, Hitler becomes Chancellor of Germany. But this also impacts other areas of Poland. How does anti-Semitism start? With name-calling and teasing. So in the story, Yitzhak has two friends. Actually, it's four best friends. Two of them are ethnic Polish boys. Two of them are ethnic Ukrainian boys. And they're his best friends. And volleyball is a very popular game at that time with the children. Of course, the net's a little lower. So I've included a scene at the school where they're playing volleyball, and Yitzhak is to be at the net. And he misses the ball just when the teacher blows the whistle for everybody to come inside, which means they lost the game. And so the two, one of the Ukrainian boys yells at him, "You're just a dirty Jew." The Polish boy just says, "You Jews aren't welcome here anymore. You all need to leave." that's how you can explain things through the dialogue.
Right.
There is a scene that takes place much later on when the family returns, when they learn about what happened to the family that remained.
So where can people find the book? I mean, is it in schools?
Yeah, are these
Is
available for students?
All right, okay, yes. Okay, let me, okay. So, for the viewers who are out there, the easiest way to obtain the book is to go to Amazon.com or look for my name, SandorLubisch.com. They'll take you right to the book's Amazon page. It's available as Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. That would be the easiest way to order it. Now, you asked about the schools. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. Somehow, the book got into the hands of the chairperson of the Phoenix Holocaust Association Speakers Bureau.
Okay.
She confirmed that I did an excellent job getting it appropriate for middle and high school kids. So she enrolls me into their Speakers Bureau to go to schools to talk about this.
Nice.
That's great.
They've also, she was very instrumental immediately getting the book listed as a recommended resource on their website.
Nice. That's
The
great.
Phoenix Holocaust Association also provides the Arizona Department of Education with the school's Holocaust curriculum. So my book got passed to that committee. They also verified it was appropriate for middle and high school. They submitted the title of the book to be added on the next update on the official Department of Education's book list for grades 7 through 12.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
that's fantastic.
Nicely
So
done.
there have been, in addition to that, which just happened last week, I was informed by the United States Holocaust Museum, Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., that they are also adding the book to their library collection.
Wow.
Okay. So Phoenix Union High School District, my former high school district, has recently approved the book to be purchased for their libraries and their schools. I'm hoping other school districts will learn about this and do the same. And of course, as I speak at middle and high school classes, I mention this, the book, to the teachers and their supervisors. So hopefully it will get into the hands of more students.
I have no doubt that it will. And Sandor, thank you so much for sharing so much wonderful information about the book.
I mean, and like you're saying, it's like the audience that you were talking about. When I worked at Brooklyn Public Library, there was a woman who had retired. Once she came back to work, I'd never noticed she had always worn long sleeves. That was because she came to work after retiring wearing short sleeves, and you could see the numbers.
Yeah.
Had no clue about that past of hers.
Yeah.
And so I think things like this are so important to capture those stories that are important for all of us to know more about the history of.
It's such a crucial read now,
Yeah.
especially, always. And as Sandor said, you can find it on Amazon. Please do share this book with your family, with your friends, any educators or people that you know in positions that could make an impact in getting this book more readily available and accessible to students and to all of us. So thank you so
Can
much,
I add
Sandor.
one more thing?
You got
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, one more
and
thing.
that is, most people and your viewers might think that this is a typical Holocaust-oriented book about concentration camps and gas chambers. It is not. It's really an inspirational story about a family's resilience and survival told from the viewpoint of a young boy.
That's incredible.
We all love an inspirational story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you so
much for coming on and sharing about your book.
Yes. Yeah, and we can't wait to give it a read. I know that Marshall is probably especially eager to dive in. We'll be right back after this break. We'll have things to do. We'll have some celebrations,
Yeah, all kinds
birthdays,
of good
even
stuff.
more history. So keep it right here.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the morning show on this amazing Tuesday.
It is an incredible
The weather is
Tuesday.
Fabulous, and so happy that you can join us. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. Thanks for joining us on the morning show.
At the
fabulous Arizona Center. I can
now-
never not do it now. Is
Now
that
you're
what
like,
it is?
oh, really, we're going to do that again?
Every
Yes.
single time.
Yes.
Every time. Okay.
Because it is fabulous.
It is fabulous. It's fabulous.
I mean, you can go get coffee at Bosa. You can grab yourself a donut.
Yes.
There's all kinds of fun things.
There's pizza at Doughboy.
Exactly.
There's all sorts of
Sushi
good
and
stuff.
soon
You
to
could
be
go
other
roller
things as
skating.
well. Oh,
I know.
Well, yes, you could go roller skating.
I can't go roller skating.
no.
But other people who are
Right, other people who
more
are inclined
coordinated,
to, coordinated. If you're coordinated, you could go roller skating there.
not us.
Not us.
You know we're gonna have to at some point. Like we're probably gonna do a promo video and we'll have to get on skates. It could be like my bike ride in the film.
I was
Someone
going to
could
say,
just like
right.
push us.
Well, can they just like green screen the place moving around us so we don't have to move?
We'll use a walker on wheels.
When I go ice skating, that's exactly what
Yeah,
I
that's what we'll do. All right.
do. And so
No shame.
no shame at all. So let's talk a little bit about some history of Arizona.
Let's do.
So on this date, back in 1921, up in Prescott, Arizona, there was a very unusual court case.
Okay.
It was prohibition, and a car was put on the stand for being an accomplice and hauling illegal booze around.
Was the car conscious? Like,
It
is
was
this
found
pristine?
guilty. It was found guilty.
I don't understand.
So
Automobile on trial for hauling liquor, found guilty at Prescott. Ordered. What?
Yeah. So
How
yeah.
do you charge a car? Not the driver of the car?
Oh no, the driver was also up, but they confiscated the car. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, was there testimony? Was
that just a bad headline? Like, was that
No,
one of those things where like
no, because they actually did put the car on trial, and the car was found guilty. But I think it's just so funny.
Did
It's
the
like
car testify? I don't understand.
Right? No,
Marshall.
exactly. Well, I guess there was no questions back and forth. It's like, or maybe somebody was like honked once for yes, two for no.
Was this a joke? Was this a gimmick?
I don't think so. I think it was, they were so just capture those illegal people making all the booze and haul it around. So much so that the vehicle they were using.
Can you see all the wheels in my
Oh
brain?
yeah, no,
like I just
well,
don't
that's why I
understand.
read that headline. I was like,
Okay.
what? And then I read the article. I'm like, wow. Yeah, no.
All right, I'm angry. We need to move on. I can't I can't handle it.
I'm just glad that I'm like, hoping my car doesn't stand trial at some point.
Your new car is pretty, by the way.
Indeed
I parked
it
next
is.
to you. I like your new car. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. We're
When
just
you're not sitting in a courtroom watching a car on trial, what are some other things we could do?
You could be playing Texas Hold'em. That sounds like a great thing to do on a Tuesday. Boondocks in Tempe is inviting you to come play Texas Hold'em. The Dream Dealers host this only free poker tournament with professional dealers and casino quality gaming tables. So whether you want to learn the game, improve your play, or just looking for some competitive poker to join in on for a little bit of entertainment, this is a good tournament option for you. There are nightly prizes that include gift certificates for the top 3 finishers, and the final table earns points to qualify for an invitation to the Good Karma tournament in March. Dealers sponsor a $1,000 cash prize pool from their tips. From their tips? Why are we making the dealers pay the prizes?
I know. I'm like,
Look, I'm just outraged about everything today. Cars on trial, dealers.
But it was so
pulling
funny. When I
tips.
first moved to Arizona, I had a group of friends, and there was one person who didn't really talk about what they did. And it finally came out that they were a professional poker player.
I feel like I know a disproportionate amount of professional poker players.
I'm wondering if we know some of the same folks. Because I was like, I never thought of that
Yeah.
as like a career.
I know, right? Which is what does your friend play? He got offended when I asked him.
Was that Bridge? Well, which friend?
Yeah, it might have been Bridge.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, my friend's Garrison is like traveling
Yeah.
the
He was like, I'm a professional bridge player, and I was like, for real? Like, is that for real? Is that real? Yeah. But anyway, doors open at 6 p.m. tonight. 6:30 p.m. is the $500 early bonus, and then 7 p.m. is when the tournament begins. So,
And I have the perfect jacket to wear for this.
do you play?
I don't.
You just have the uniform.
Well, of course, usually I have the appropriate gear, just not the talent to actually do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, they say this is the one to go to learn, so
Well,
you could.
Maybe I could become a professional poker player.
Maybe you could. Look at that. Never stop dreaming, friend. All right. There is also, if you're into maybe something a little less high stakes, a little more cozy, you can do some artisan bread baking with a cooking class by Cozy Meal in Scottsdale. Basically, you're joining Chef Elena for an intimate 2.5-hour culinary experience and a 3-course meal. You'll be making herb focaccia with rosemary, olive oil, and garlic, 4-strand sesame bread with black sesame seeds, pull apart cheesy garlic bread with garlic powder, and some other good stuff. So it's from 6 to 8:30. It's $90. You get to eat all the stuff I just said, though.
Wow.
And they will provide the address once you register. So.
Well, we should have her on the show so we can get samples of all that because it sounds really good.
And you love cooking classes.
I do.
I know you do.
Because then you get to learn things and make things,
Eat things.
Eat things.
We're all about the eating. This next one is for me. Pixar Films Trivia Night at Snakes and Lattes in Tempe. I would win that in a heartbeat. Join them for Pixar Films Trivia Night, from Toy Story to Coco and everything in between. This is your chance to show off your knowledge of the most beloved animated film. So you can get a team together, channel your inner Buzz or Dory, and see if you've got what it takes to go to infinity and beyond. Trivia starts at 7, goes till about 9. Prizes are awarded to the top 3 teams. It's $10 for individuals, a table for 2 for $20, 4 for $40. You get the idea. It goes up by $10 increments. And if you've not been to Snakes and Lattes, it's actually a really fun kind of coffee spot to hang. So.
And and I shouldn't be your teammate in this because.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
I know. If it's like anything current, like.
Well, the Despicable, were those the folks from Despicable Me?
No.
Despicable
Me.
Well, no, there were some people in costumes, the red people.
The red people.
Can we have the graphic back up?
Oh,
The
that
Incredibles.
was The Incredibles. Yeah.
Oh, was that the movie they were in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I never saw that.
You never saw The Incredibles?
No.
You probably haven't seen a lot of Pixar movies, Marshall.
Yeah. No,
Oh, yeah, you're talking about
I
the
would be
Incredibles,
hard-pressed to name most of those characters.
That makes me sad.
So.
How are we friends, Marshall?
I mean, I know there's Cars, just because there's so much Arizona featured in Cars, whether people realize it or not.
That would make sense to be the one that you know.
Of course.
Yes. This next one is kind of about well-being and sort of just taking care of yourself. There is a grief therapy group event at Phoenix Horizon Wellness Center in Mesa. It's in the afternoon. It's at 2 p.m. It's basically just a really supportive and healing experience to navigate the journey of grief. It's an in-person event. It's a safe space to share feelings, connect with others who understand what you're going through, and also learn some coping strategies. There's super compassionate facilitators, and they're welcome to people that are dealing with either very recent loss or even past trauma. So, whatever you need, it's complex, it's multifaceted, but this is a great place to go and kind of be amongst community for that.
And that's so important, because grief comes in so many different ways.
Yeah, it does. If you are under 18 and would like to attend this, you do need to go with a guardian. And then it's at Phoenix Horizon Wellness Center, and it's $35 to attend the session. The last one is also pretty important. I never learned CPR. Did you learn CPR? Was that like something you had to do at any point?
Actually, when I was in libraries, we actually had to take a CPR course.
Okay.
Just because we were so much in the public.
Well, I think this would be something that parents would be interested in, especially or if you're maybe in childcare, although they probably provide this if you're in childcare. But it's basically infant CPR and AED class in Mesa. So you get hands-on, in-person classes designed to teach life-saving infant CPR and AED techniques. It is led by expert instructors, certified by the American Heart Association. And it'll help you feel really confident and comfortable and have the skills to handle yourself effectively during emergencies. So yeah, ideal for parents, caregivers, anyone interested in learning these skills. It's $60 and it starts at 6:30 p.m.
Wow.
at CPR certification at Mesa.
Very cool.
Yeah, so you could level up, or I could just drag you to Pixar trivia.
Yeah, because that would be fun. Does it just how many questions I don't know the answer to?
You've done haven't you done talks about like Disney though, and Disney in Arizona
but it's
history?
Disney in Arizona, not
It's very specific.
right. It's very specific, so it's not just because so many of those folks don't live or have connection to Arizona.
All right.
I can talk to the cows come home about Disney in Arizona, but that's not what they're doing Pixar.
I'm slowly going to change this about you as Anne almost falls on her butt behind the scenes here.
Don't break your phone.
I didn't react though. Did you see? My eyes saw it, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, break her new phone that she just got."
Indeed.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with celebrations.
Some celebrations and some
birthdays.
birthdays.
Yes.
And I sure hope somebody sends us a birthday, an anniversary, something they would like us to celebrate from all you out there.
Yeah.
And how could they do that?
They can email us at hello@onthemorningshow.com or shoot us a DM on Instagram.
Look, we have a
at
lower
On The
we
Morning
have a
Show.
lower third for that.
Did you just notice that?
I did.
He just saw the flamingos in our intro and just noticed our lower thirds. We're winning at life. All right.
That's right.
We'll be back right after this. Suck that gut in.
And good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm Marshall Shore here on the morning show with
Melissa Farley at the Fabulous Arizona Center.
Woohoo!
Did I deliver, Marshall?
You did indeed.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I never want to let you
Spot
down.
on. Nah. Even when we don't or don't or whatever, it's all good. We figure it out. We make it.
You always look a little sad though if I don't do it.
Well, because it's so much fun to just.
I know.
If only we also had confetti.
Ah. Oh,
Yeah,
producer
but then-
shaking her head. No,
then-
no to the confetti.
Yeah, then we have to clean it up and.
I looked at her like, could we?
No, I already know that answer.
No. All right.
No, and be like, nope, you can't do that. Sorry.
Just once. Maybe on like our 6-month anniversary.
It'll be a surprise. We won't tell anybody. We'll just do it.
Ooh. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So let's talk about some things that should have confetti.
Okay. What are we celebrating today?
So, okay, you know how yesterday was Clean Your Desk Day?
Boo. Yeah.
So this is that big
Let it get
picture-
messy day. The day after.
Oh, no, that would actually be perfect.
What?
It's like, whew, it only lasted one day. Because, that's usually all it takes is one day and it's back.
I did it. It's over.
No, it's that bigger
Okay.
picture of
What?
Organize Your House Day.
Oh God.
I know.
Why?
And I'm like, really?
No, you know what? It's true. January is a great month for people to feel motivated to do stuff like that. Like my client, my ADHD client, they're doing a declutter challenge right now where they get rid of 1 piece of clutter on January 1st, 2 on the 2nd, and every day you increase. So you end up getting rid of like almost 500 pieces of like clutter around your house. You look terrified.
Fun. Yeah, that's like that whole like Marie Kondo thing. It's like, does this bring you joy? Yes, it does. So it's staying.
But you know what? Little things count. Like, so if you've got like a stack of like old mail that you haven't thrown away, it's just been sitting there for whatever, like that counts.
Oh,
you
that
know?
kind of thing.
Yeah. So like it doesn't have to be like
Okay.
major,
Okay, so not like my swizzle sticks. I don't have to get rid of any of those.
You don't have to.
No, I don't have to. But then on the joyful side,
Yes.
dress up your pet day.
I love that.
Who doesn't love to dress up? It's probably a good thing I don't have a pet at this moment because I probably would.
I will absolutely. Are you talking about my dress? What's happening right now?
So, I had friends and so they had a pug that loved to wear this pumpkin costume.
Yeah.
And it's like, and so the dog would like go find it and be like, and lay on it until they would put it
Oh,
on him.
cute.
And he was so adorable wandering around in his pumpkin costume.
So that's how, it's not a costume, but my parents have Lucy, this little dog Lucy, and she sometimes needs a cone, but we got her like a soft cone, like so that now when she like lays down, it's like this head pillow, like no matter where she goes, there's like a, so she loves the freaking cone. Like it doesn't even feel like a, you know, like a punishment to her or anything. She snores so bad in that cone though.
I was like, because it's like a megaphone. It's like, we'll be glad it's on the other end as well, because then you would hear more noises.
No, but
really loud.
I have a really cool shirt. Sorry. I have a really cool shirt that I can put Charlie in today, so I'm glad you told me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then, so now that your house is all organized, your pet is happy because they're in a costume.
Yes.
You can now go shopping for travel things.
That's National Shop for Travel Day.
Yeah.
Okay. Book a flight.
Exactly, which I think is
book a
it's like, so,
hotel.
you know, I mean, there's so many different ways you can get ready, whether it's getting ready for the packing process, the clothing you're going to wear, because maybe you're going someplace where it's really cold or it's really hot.
I'm guilty of, usually when I go to Europe, I do get like a wardrobe for where I'm going.
Well, because you need it. I mean, depending on what season you're going, it's like
Yep.
a completely different than what you're used to here.
And it's just a good excuse to get fun clothes. My husband would argue that nothing I buy is particularly practical. It's just a want. Yeah.
No one ever says about anything I ever buy.
That it's practical. That's true. You know, that reminds me though. Do you have any like big trips planned for 2025 that you're doing?
I do actually. I'm gonna be doing a Shanghai trip.
That's right. Yeah, you are going to Shanghai.
So yeah, so just getting some dates for that and figuring out.
Yeah.
So we'll have to sit down and coordinate and see what's going on with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you?
You know, husband started a new job, so he doesn't have as much vacation time this year. So I don't know that we're leaving the country this year, but I think we're probably going to do Utah because, you know, they've got 1 million national state parks and, you know, just Zion.
Well,
and
I mean, there's so many cool things. I mean, Salt Lake City is really cool.
yeah.
There's an amazing Shakespeare's festival.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of.
I mean, there's so much.
I just think it sounds lame to be like, yeah, last year I went to Greece and this year I'm going to Utah. Like it just doesn't have the same.
Oh. So if you go to
What?
Salt Lake City, you can visit the original KFC, which was it's part of Harmon's, which was a cafe that actually first started selling KFC.
Okay.
And so they still have this KFC / Harmon's in Salt Lake City
Actually, that would be a good pilgrimage for me.
with one of the Colonel's suits on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've never been.
Uh-huh.
That was like #1 tourist attraction when I went to
I
Salt
bet.
Lake.
Well, now I gotta tell Pat that that's a must. We must go see KFC. No, but you know, I used to be a really sickly child, and so after the doctor's office, I would ask my parents because they'd be like, "What treat do you want?" And I always wanted chicken. I always wanted KFC. So that was like a childhood memory of mine. Yeah.
So see, you could go, and then that history of those 11 herbs and spices.
I know.
Because, you know, it was almost originally...
Sold. Marshall just sold me on
Well, because, you
Utah.
know, originally it was going to
No
be called
qualms
Utah
anymore.
Fried Chicken because the chain was based out of Utah.
Oh, I'm
and
so glad they didn't do
so,
that.
yeah, but they realized that was not a great name for fried chicken.
No, it's really not.
And so...
Good call. Good call.
Then they realized the Colonel's from Kentucky, so let's call it
Let's
Kentucky
call it
Fried
Kentucky.
Chicken.
All right. What a weird tangent we just went. I'm sorry, I like paused because my brain was like, how did we get here?
I was like, and then it's like, you know, and then on
We're talking about things to celebrate. How did we end up on whatever?
Because you can celebrate history, you can celebrate chicken.
I always celebrate chicken.
And so, as well as today is also Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day, which really goes back to this whole idea before there were refrigerators, you had to preserve meat, so they would brine it and everything else, and so it was cured so that way it wouldn't go bad.
I've never been a fan of like hot sandwiches. That's just not my jam.
And so I love the smell of like pastrami.
But you don't eat meat.
No,
So.
I just like the smell of it.
Okay, so neither of us will be celebrating Hot Pastrami Day.
Yeah, I won't be, but
That's okay.
yeah, but I mean, like the first pastrami sandwich is like 1880s.
Yeah. No, I know. It's got a rich
it's a
history.
really old thing, so yeah.
I don't know. I'm not into it. You know what I am into though? Birthdays.
Indeed, and so Mark Anthony.
The singer? No,
No,
the singer.
I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I kept
Mark
doing that.
Anthony, not Mark Anthony. Okay,
So
got it.
Or Marcus Antonius.
There you go.
as the more precise would be.
All right. All right.
So I mean, it's like famous for Cleopatra's Rome, that romance with Cleopatra, and making Rome even larger.
I know I talk about books a lot, but if you're really into Egyptology, adventure, kind of just a fun, I don't know, it's just really immerses you into Egypt and kind of this whole era. What the River Knows and Where the Library Hides. It's a 2-piece installment.
Oh.
Super fun books. Yeah, read it. You won't regret it unless you don't like reading. Then you might.
And and me being a movie person.
Yeah.
So did you ever see Sex, Lies, and Videotape?
No, I don't think I did.
So that was Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah.
And that was his first kind of break into.
That was the first, huh? Okay.
That's what got him award-winning, and so started with. Then he wanted to do things like Traffic, Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah. Yep. Seen both of those for sure.
Magic Mike.
Magic.
I know. I always think it's so funny that
Go
you
from
got these, and
Traffic
then
to
like,
Magic
oh,
Mike.
okay. I mean.
You know, we hold multitudes.
Exactly.
We hold multitudes.
So some of those I've seen, but I've never seen Magic Mike, nor any of the Ocean 11 stuff. All that whole like
I've
redo
seen
of all
Ocean's,
those.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen all of them.
So because there's multiple,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How old was he?
He is 61 years old.
Okay.
So, and then our next, then we also have some music birthdays coming up. LL Cool J's birthday.
LL Cool J.
He is 56 years old, and I didn't know what the LL Cool J stood for.
What does it stand for, Marshall?
Ladies love Cool James.
That's really what it is.
So that's what it stands for. I was like, wow.
That is the kind of confidence I hope you carry into your lives, friends.
Exactly. I mean,
Ladies love Cool James. I have so much more respect for him now. I never.
So yeah, no, I
respect
thought that
LL
was
Cool
great.
J.
I mean, he's bridged like R&B, rap, so does all kinds.
He was
of,
huge when I was growing up. Like LL Cool J was the
Right.
thing. Yeah.
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 And then David Grohl.
Ooh, Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he
Very
got his
talented.
start at the age of 17 when he lied and started in a band called Scream. When they broke up, he then became a guitarist with Kurt Cobain.
Nirvana. Yeah.
Yeah, Nirvana, and went on the road with them, playing on some of their great, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. He's crazy talented. Like,
He is,
yeah.
and still going on with Foo Fighters today.
Yeah,
And
like musical genius, talented. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Dave Grohl. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Indeed. So yeah,
That's it?
that is indeed it. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, no. That was last show. I was
Such
like,
an
oh yeah.
unceremonious ending. And that's all. That's all we have for you.
I was like, and that's all the news for
Yes.
the
end.
kind of do a little Walter Cronkite bit.
Oh. Oh gosh, that's giving me PTSD to be
Oh.
a journalist.
Well, but it's Walter
I don't want
Cronkite, so.
I know. Okay. All right, Wally. We'll make you proud. No, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you've learned something, that you've had a couple laughs. We made your day maybe a little bit brighter. We will be back here tomorrow.
Which is Wednesday. We're going to be back for a Wednesday, a
Hump Day
show.
I knew you were going to say Hump Day. Beat you to it. Huh. Okay.
You know that, Melissa.
All right, go get some tacos. It's Tuesday
Oh,
after
that's right.
all.
It's Taco Tuesday and Tequila Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Yep. We'll see you right back here on Wednesday.